Hello my friends and welcome back to Brotato Ultimate Nightmares, where I played the hardest characters in the new Nightmare mode from the All Pain No Gain update, as voted by you. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Streamer. This is the character that I and many others initially thought would be the hardest in Nightmare mode, because the Streamer has to stay still, and of course the environmental projectiles make that much more difficult. Also, the faster and more dangerous enemies mean that you're going to have to move more frequently, losing a bunch of passive income. I'm going to start by playing the engineering build. If this doesn't work out, I might try a gun build instead, or something like javelins, which could be potentially pretty strong. But let's start with wrenches. This is the standard build for the Streamer after engineering stuff was buffed. I also want to see if engineering is viable on Nightmare mode, because I haven't had a chance to play with engineering items that much. So I'm going to run over here. Once I start taking damage, I'm going to run over here and let my turret defend me here while we collect some passive income. I won't be able to get this tree. I would rather just tick up my passive income. We would have to run all the way over to the left there. Lumberjack shirt could be useful. Gentle Alien is not as good for the Streamer because you only get 50% material drops from enemies. Now, it's still a pretty powerful item. I'm going to leave both of these in the pool but not lock them, because there's other things that we want right away for the Streamer. I'll also buy this wrench. We'll lock Scar. We definitely want that. I am going to avoid getting Curse again. Also, I'm playing in Crash Zone because it's the harder of the two maps right now, so I think it's a better proof of concept. We'll pick up another wrench here. I'll ban Snake. Even though we'll have incendiary turrets at some point, I don't think we want the Snake. It's just not that powerful for incendiary turrets, and it's very expensive, costs us HP. So, the question is, do I want screwdrivers? On the Streamer, I tend to like just using wrenches, but Screwdriver was recently buffed. The engineering damage scaling got increased as you level it up, and it's an easier way to get armor with the Streamer, thanks to the Streamer's passive giving you extra armor for every structure. The Streamer here has a lot of text, but basically you make money passively while you stand still, you get extra armor for every structure, but you lose speed and damage based on the amount of materials that you hold. I think we'll pass on the Screwdriver here. I will leave Helmet in the pool, and I'm going to roll again, lock Wrench, and ban Bat. And then we'll go straight to wave 2 here. This is kind of a good pattern. So one thing that they have changed is that if you remain motionless at the point where you spawn, the environmental projectiles will never hit you. They've given you kind of an island of safety to enable builds like this. I had to move there to pick up materials and to avoid dying, of course. And then I was able to kill that tree. We'll take this tree kill as well, and then I'm going to re-roll. I could take regeneration. We are probably going to want that. I could also roll for harvesting or engineering, but with only 31 materials, I'm just going to take the regen here. We'll buy the wrench and mushroom. Again, I'll leave in the pool. Loot worm, one of the best items for the Streamer, because it can pick up materials for us without us having to move, meaning that we get quite a lot of extra value. And then I'm going to roll and lock another wrench. Starting this wave, I'll try to start saving money so our passive can actually make us money, but from the beginning, you really want to get your full weapon set online. With the Streamer, of course, not only are we using engineering weapons, so we get bonus engineering by having a full set of 6, we also get armor for every one that we have, so we want to have as many as possible as quickly as possible. This wave, I'm going to pick up some of these materials here, try to kill a bunch of these enemies. Left a bunch of materials on the ground, but that's why we have the loot worm locked. I'll go ahead and ban the butterfly, get 10 materials there, and then I'll pick up 2 more regeneration. I can buy both the loot worm and the wrench, so that's perfect. And I want the loot worm even over the Scar, because it's so good for the Streamer. We'll also ban baby elephant and go straight to the next wave. As it happened, I did not end up saving materials for our passive income this wave, because we got 2 really strong items. Have to dodge that projectile, and then I can move a little more central. Oops. Walked into the environmental projectile there, which was obviously not great. I'm going to try to get 67 held materials so that we can start making 2 every second. And then we'll try to buy... the loot worm won't make it there in time, so I'm going to run over and kill that tree myself. We'll try to save enough materials that we can just increase our passive income this next wave. I'll take the harvesting, I'll take the engineering, because we're going to want that. And then I'll buy the scar. I could add a screwdriver now, but let's reroll. And I'll lock a wrench, I'll lock Peaceful Bee, Weird Food. Head injury, I'm going to lock and ban. We're going to buy these other 3 items. We don't really need a lot of percentage damage on an engineering build. And I want to hold the 67 materials because that's the breakpoint where you start getting 2 per second. I'm also just going to move over here to this cluster of turrets. On the streamer, you want to find a good place to stand and try to remain motionless as long as possible. You need to stay still for a full second before you start getting income, which means that it's better to reposition a bunch to where you won't have to move again, rather than do these minor repositions that I'm doing. So I'm actually kind of messing up my movement a little bit here, and it's forcing me to move a little more than if I was placing myself somewhere I wouldn't have to move again. But another important thing about this streamer is you don't have to stay still that long to make a lot of money. Even a couple ticks of your passive are worth multiple enemy kills, right? So you can get a lot of value even if you have to move pretty frequently. We'll take 3 regeneration here, and then I am going to buy all of these items. Ban head injury and do a free reroll. And then I'm definitely taking the pencil. I'm definitely taking the wrench. I'd like to save 100 materials so we can start making 3 every second. So let's just go ahead and buy the pencil here. And I'll do 1 more reroll to see if we can lock a level 1 wrench. We can't, but bag and penguin are great options as well. Blazemander, we don't really want to build elemental damage. Pets do... benefit from your percent damage, or in this case, suffer from your percent damage, because we're the streamer, so we're going to have really low percent damage. So we're going to pass on the Blazemander. I could lock it to get the free reroll after banning it, but I'd rather ban level 1 items. It is nice that this is a darkness wave. I am going to run over here and try to kill at least some of these goobers, because the darkness wave is a little bit easier, and wave 6 crash zone is really difficult. I'm going to use my damage bonuses while moving to try to kill these slashers, because they're going to force me to move anyways. So we need to use those damage bonuses to clear them out, such that we can maybe get some value from our passive this wave. Unfortunately, I've kind of messed up here quite a bit, let too many eggs hatch. So we're just not going to make any money this wave, but it's wave 6 crash zone, so sometimes that happens. This is now the most difficult wave in the game on Nightmare mode. I'm just going to take some max HP here. I really don't want to spend on rerolling, and I'll buy all of these items, and we'll try to save 100-ish materials again. I'll do 1 reroll here, and we'll lock a turret and a wrench. That's perfect. Turret is 2 more armor. I'll also just go ahead and ban the claw tree and go straight to wave 7. So the incendiary turret is very high damage, so that should be helpful. I'm also going to reposition to here, where we shouldn't take a hit from the environmental projectiles, but should be protected by our turrets. Actually, I want to be a little higher up, so if I have to move again, as we will against this slasher, I'm going to try to move just a little bit higher up. Also need to kill that thing. The streamer gets damage bonuses and attack speed bonuses while moving, so you can use movement in order to kill some of these higher priority enemies. Now, wave 7, of course, is going to force us to move a lot as well. But we only have to stay still a little bit in order to make some income. I'll recycle the riposte. I could build dodge. We could start building dodge. We get a lot of armor as the streamer, of course. So yeah, let's take the gambling token here. I'm going to reroll this, and I'm going to reroll again. All right, we missed on any good stats there, but I'll take more regeneration. Going up to 10 is pretty nice. We'll take 4 engineering. And then here I'm going to... I don't want more than more than 2 incendiary turrets, typically. But do I want 1 laser turret? I think I probably do. So we'll combine here, buy another wrench. We'll buy a turret, which is both an extra structure that attacks and 2 more armor, thanks to the streamer's passive. We'll buy Gentle Alien and we'll ban Injection, getting a free reroll. Then I think I will upgrade my wrench. I am going to save less money than I normally would on the streamer because we need to actually be able to clear these enemies. And then I will take a Peaceful Bee as well. And I'll throw in 1 more reroll. It leaves me with exactly 100, which isn't bad. Whistle, I don't think we're going to be able to easily clear loot aliens, especially after the whistle boosts their movement speed. So I'm going to not worry about that. I have 10 regeneration, so I can take these hits, though I didn't mean to take that one from the ranged enemy there. But our laser turret at least does an okay job protecting us. And as long as I can hold still occasionally and pick up some materials and get the occasional pick of our passive, getting some really lucky 10% dodges there, which is helping with my poor movement. All right, so I just walked into every attack that wave. Just very, very bad movement. We had low health, and even with a ton of armor, we couldn't survive. I do think that the engineering build was fine. I just messed up on Wave 8. Wave 8, of course, is always going to be hard. It does hurt to lose the run where we had the loot alien, because that's such a good... or loot worm, because that's such a good item for this character. Let's reroll here, and I'll reroll again, and I'll just take 5 harvesting. 2 engineering would also be nice, but starting with some harvesting, of course, is always good. We'll ban fresh meat, we'll lock the propeller hat, we'll reroll, we'll buy a wrench, we'll ban small fish, and we'll reroll again, lock another wrench. Terrified Onion, we do need movement speed on the streamer, but I think it's worth just banning. This is a relatively weak item. Okay, so I need to do a little movement here. We'll position ourselves in between these 2 turrets, and we should be safe from the projectiles currently. With about 5 seconds remaining in the wave, I'm going to start moving just to pick up these materials. We give up a few ticks of our passive, but we get the materials on the ground. And the ones on the ground are better because they're also worth XP. So you do need to pick those up compared to just your passive income. Let's try with screwdrivers this time, actually, and because it's just going to let me level my weapons a little faster if I do the mix. Plus, the screwdrivers are better for actually attacking with, so things like that Wave 8 death wouldn't have happened if my weapons were doing a little more damage. Nice that we got a tree spawning in range of our turret here. I'm going to run around, pick up these materials again with a few seconds left in the wave. 69, nice. We'll take 5 more harvesting as well, and then I'm going to buy... I could just sit on this and start with 2 income per second. It's wave 4, so we have 2 waves before wave 6. So let's actually get greedy. We've got a bunch of good items locked in the shop. We're going to save some money and try to actually get some real streamer income here. Move over towards these turrets, and we'll try to hit 100 so that we're making 3 per second. Obviously, standing still for that environmental projectile was not good, but now if I just need that ranged enemy to die because it's forcing me to move here. All right, so getting greedy has not really worked out. I didn't get to stay still that often, but I am getting a few passive ticks. So we made like 80 materials on wave 4, which is not great. I will take some attack speed. It can be helpful here, and movement speed will help me reposition more easily, and then I'll buy some weapon upgrades. I guess we want to do two screwdrivers, 4 wrenches. I'll throw in one more reroll. We'll lock a screwdriver. I'll lock the lens, because I can ban it for a free reroll, and then we'll go straight to wave 5. And I'm going to try to greed out a little on wave 5, and then we'll spend some money wave 6, because wave 6 is so difficult. So I am liking that our screwdrivers are helping us kill enemies with our actual weapons a little more easily. Meaning that I don't have to move as frequently. Also, I should be able to kill this loot alien, yeah. So we got that. I'm going to move for the rest of the wave to pick up materials and kill those trees. Well, coral we will take. We're standing still a lot on the streamer, so 10 regen is, of course, great. We'll take 20 luck as well. And then here, I'm going to take some engineering. We get a lot of armor for free. I do need max HP, but engineering is pretty important on this character. Then I'm going to level my screwdrivers. We'll buy all of these. We'll ban the lens. I'm going to sell... Oh, Clockwork Wasp is one of the best items we could find. So I'm definitely buying that here. And I'll buy the bag. Glasses I will ban. And I think I'm going to go down to 67 held materials for wave 6. Because we're probably not going to get to hold still that much anyways. Let's lock these 2 items. And I suppose I can buy one of them. We'll buy the wrench, and then we'll just go to wave 6. I'll also ban insanity, because I want to ban level 1 items. Alright, and I'm going to start by running around and killing these goobers and some of the eggs at least, because that will let me hold still more easily later on. Then I can make my way down over here. Now the summons, unless our turrets kill them, they shouldn't create too many summons. Because they hover just outside of your range, typically. Use some damage bonuses while moving to kill the flashers here. Then we'll kill the tree. Alright, so we had to spend down our bank, but that was a very safe wave 6, so I feel pretty good about that. Let's roll here. We'll take more regeneration. Pile of books is a bunch of engineering, so I'm happy about that. I'm going to buy another screwdriver, and we'll just go up to a level 3. And I'll take lemonade, lock the pile of books, throw in 1 reroll after, I guess, banning head injury, and we'll lock another screwdriver. Whistle. I think we can get away with buying the whistle since we've got these screwdrivers helping us damage the enemies. I love that enemies who are on fire light up the darkness. I think that's such a cool addition to the game with the darkness. I do wish that when it was the incendiary turret, they glowed blue instead of orange, since it fires blue flames. Kill this egg, because it'll make me move anyways. Tanking this hit, and then... Oh, I overestimated my health there. I needed to move just a little earlier. Okay. That was, that loss hurts. I thought I could take 2 hits, but I just completely overestimated how much health I had, given, we had 12 armor, but only 16 max HP. And with the coral and the Clockwork Wasp, 2 amazing items for this character. Feels bad to lose that one. So I can't take another hit this wave. I will go kill the tree this time, because... we could have gotten a crate out of it. Here, we'll ban these 2. I did like working in a couple screwdrivers, so I will buy those. I'll buy a lock turret, I'll lock Peaceful Bee as well. Any structures that you get on the streamer, of course, are excellent. And then here we can buy a couple more weapons and reroll, lock a couple more weapons. That's great. So again, I think we're going to do the getting greedy wave 3 strategy. And then trying to make enough money that we can spend down a bit, but still have some bank for wave 6. Pick up these materials here. And we'll take 5 harvesting. And then I'm just going to buy the weapons. I will do 1 more reroll. No, I'll do 2 more rerolls, lock a weapon level, and go to wave 3 here. Or getting greedy in the wave 3 shop. So we're not going to spend too much money this wave. We'll try to save some materials so that we can get extra income wave 4. Can't believe I threw that last run. I think we were, like, very on track to win it. But, you know, Nightmare mode is hard. So nice. We've got 69 materials, and here we will take 5 harvesting. The butterfly... So I think what we're going to do here is I'm going to lock butterfly, and then I'm just going to go to wave 4. Then we'll buy these 3 items and ban the butterfly. But I'm going to start with 2 income per second this wave, which is great. Oh, nice. That ranged enemy... So we're actually getting very lucky. Our ranged enemies are mostly approaching from a direction where the turrets can hit them. Which is helping us not have to move at the start of the wave. Although I am going to have to move now. I'm going to go kill this tree, and I'll back off to where these 2 turrets can defend me for the rest of the wave, hopefully. Tank that hit. And... I left a bunch of materials on the ground, but we made a lot of income that wave. Let's take some regeneration, and then here I'm going to reroll. And I might need to take... I don't think I want harvesting. I'm deciding whether I want max HP or engineering. I think the engineering is still better. Then I'm going to buy these items. We get more armor. We get to ban the butterfly. Going into wave 5, I want to save 100. Awesome shop here as well. So let's go ahead and just buy the level 1 screwdriver. Lock everything else. And we'll just go straight to wave 5. Wait, what? Why did that hit me? Okay. When you hold still, the environmental projectiles aren't supposed to hit you. I don't know why on wave 5 it was different. So you can see we're starting to get slowed a little bit. Just because we're holding enough materials that we're moving a little slower. Let's run over here and we'll pick up those, kill this tree, get some more time motionless. We can tank a little bit because we have a lot of armor. And now we've got 345 this wave, which is great. I will just take 6 max HP here because although the harvesting is really nice, the maximum health is what we've really had a problem with so far in this run. And then let's go ahead and combine... Well, so I want to buy all of these things. So we'll definitely buy this, these 2. I'm deciding how I want to combine my weapons. So if I just buy the screwdriver... I guess no matter what I do, if I buy screwdriver, we're ending up with a 1, 2, and 3. So there's nothing I can do about that. And then we'll end up with 2 incendiary turrets. And we'll have to kind of fix that later on, but it's okay for now. I'm going to sell down to... or buy down to 100 held materials going into wave 6. Because I think we can't get too greedy here. Gonna reroll, and then... Alright, this is kind of perfect. We can combine here and buy a screwdriver, and then I think... I might go with a 3-3 split, actually, but let's go ahead and get a laser turret and a wrench. And then we'll do a 3-3 split between turrets and landmines. And then I do want to reroll while we still have guaranteed weapons in the shop on wave 5, and this still leaves us with 100 materials going into wave 6. We can get our 3 per second. I'm going to go clear some of the goobers and some of the eggs, because those will force me to move anyways, so better to move right away, get rid of them, and then we can at least get some time standing still here. Again, use movement to clear these enemies so they don't force me to move as much. Those guys we can let run around for a little bit. And I let a couple more slashers spawn that I'm happy with, but we should be able to kill a few of them, heal up because we have some decent consumable heal, get this tree kill, and I'm going to be moving for most of the rest of this wave, but that's okay. We did pretty well here. White flag, I still don't want to get rid of, or I still don't want on the streamer, even though you get half value from enemy spawns. It's what gives you XP, which is pretty important. So we're just going to recycle the white flag. We'll take 6 movement speed. I will buy screwdriver here, leveling that up, and then I will go to 2 incendiary turrets. I do want the acid here, but I think we'll try to save 200 materials this wave. So I'm going to reroll. We'll lock a Tyler, another structure that gives us armor, of course, and lock Ugly Tooth. I probably won't be... I guess I will be buying all 3 of these next wave, so let's lock Bone Dice so we can ban that as well. Wave 7, I think we can get a little greedy. Because Wave 8 is going to be really hard, so I need to spend out a bit on Wave 8. I was hoping my incendiary turret would kill this egg before it hatched, but it didn't. So we'll run over and kill the other one. Make my way over to the laser turret, which is going to be the best thing at protecting me. Tank some damage so that we can remain motionless for a little longer. 21 seconds left in the wave. I currently have very little healing, other than my consumable healing, so I am going to try to do that. I do want a pocket factory as well. We have, of course, it's always very strong for engineering builds, so that's an item that we're really hoping to find. Oh, I walked into that slash at the end there. I did not see it on the ground for whatever reason. I'll take the salt water here, the extra movement speed, very useful to the streamer. We'll take Broken Mouth, that's amazing, because I need the maximum health. I'm going to reroll here, I think we can do better. We'll take 3 engineering so we can actually ever kill stuff. And then we'll buy these items, ban Bone Dice, and take a reroll. I'll lock Metal, and I think I'm going to spend down to 100 this wave, so I'm actually just going to buy the Metal. It's a really strong item for us with all stats that we very, very much want. And again, wave 8 is hard, so we're just going to sit on 3 income per second this wave. Do a little bit of moving at the start to kill those chargers. Then we'll hop over here. The armored chargers are really hard to take down. The Tyler is a nice addition. Of course, it works well with our high engineering, and we do have some elemental damage, but I'm going to have to move basically for the rest of this wave. This is also partly why I didn't want White Flag, because during these segments, 5% fewer enemies would not make it so we didn't have to move here, but it would make it so we're making a lot less money during these portions of the wave where we're being forced to move. Alright, and we have enough defenses that we were able to survive. We only made 150 materials that wave, so that's pretty bad, but that's the challenge of this character. Do I want Particle Accelerator? It does use our percent damage, which on the streamer, of course, is going to be really low, but it's a lot of damage, and it slows enemies. I think it's too expensive. I think I'm just going to buy the screwdriver. I will take an alien worm, and then I'm just going to go straight to wave 9 with 200 held materials. 200-ish. Because we're kind of in a recovery phase here. Do a little bit of movement to pick up some of the materials we've dropped. I would love some additional healing. That's kind of the thing we need the most at this point. The Tyler should be pretty good at defending me this wave because it has piercing shots. I also would like to find piercing shots of some kind. That, of course, makes your turret significantly better. All right, tanked a few more hits there. I will say my instinct for how much health enemies have, of course, is thrown off by the additional health. And so that's part of why we're taking more damage here, is I'm just thinking that an enemy is going to die, but it has 10% more health than it does on lower difficulties. So, or 20% more, whatever the number is. So I'm just not accounting for that. I already have negative knockback. Knockback can be pretty good on engineering builds, but I think that the banner's attack speed matters more here, and then we'll take 3 engineering. And then I'll take a bag, I'll upgrade my screwdriver, I'll go down to 2 consumable healing, I think that's fine. Recycling machine, I don't love this item on the streamer, because you make a lot of materials normally, but this, we're kind of poverty mode streamer, so I think recycling machine will actually be helpful. I'm gonna ban the bat here and take a reroll. Bottom mine, an amazing find, and I'm gonna sell down, or buy down to 200 materials, I think. A medical turret, also an amazing find. I don't want more consumable healing reduction, we're already down to 0. Although, maybe another alien worm? No, I think that's fine. I think we'll just lock the medical turret here, and we'll sit on 225. Bottom mine is one of the best items for the streamer. Okay, so I guess when it's vertical projectiles, it hits you even if you remain motionless off the start, is what's happening. But now that we've found a few more structures, we have a lot of armor, so I think we're in better shape. With 54 health and however much armor we have, like 20, even with the increased enemy damage, we're not in as bad of condition here. I do like, obviously, I should not have lost that, at least not the second run. I do like that Nightmare Mode is hard enough that I'm losing. Because Danger 5, I had sort of reached the point where, for normal runs, it wasn't really possible. But on Nightmare Mode, I can still definitely lose. Let's roll here. I could take attack speed, it would be fine, especially, it would be great if we get improved tools, but I'm really looking for regeneration, or engineering, or movement speed, but we'll just take more engineering. We'll take 3 regeneration here as well. A Clockwork Wasp is great. Another Tyler is amazing. Medical Turret is great as well. I do have 2 Incendiary Turrets. Maybe I do want the 1 Snake here. And then I should spend down to about 200 going into Wave 11, I think. So we'll buy Landmines and Peaceful Bee. We're up to 27 armor. Awesome. I think I'm going to build Dodge this run. We have 6 Dodge already. I think we probably can. It works well with my regen, it works well with my armor. All of these defensive stats multiply the effectiveness of one another. So once you have a lot of armor, dodge is also better. I'm going to roll here, and I'll lock these 2, and I'll lock the glasses so we can ban it for a free reroll again. Wave 11 for the streamer can be tough, because if you don't have enough damage to kill these rib cages before they get on top of you, they'll always force you to move. And I don't have a lot of knockback, because I bought the banner, and we've reduced our knockback with the acid as well. So it can be harder to push them away. Grab this tree kill and pick up a bunch of materials here. It gives up some passive income, but I need levels as well. Levels are our best way to get some of the defensive stats that we're really looking for, so making sure to keep my XP income high is still important, even if it results in giving up some passive income occasionally. That's one of the things that people really struggle with on the streamer is, you'll often see people say that you should never, ever, move to pick up materials because they forget that experience exists. Here I guess we'll combine and we'll buy a wrench. It does mean that my snake is useless because we no longer have an incendiary turret, but we can then buy these two. We're going into a horde wave, so... Oh, improved tools, incredible. Obviously an awesome find there. I do want to spend down a bit because we're going into a horde wave, so I'm going to spend down to, I don't know, 100, 200. I think we probably spend down to 100 at this point. Do I want the alien tongue? Pickup radius is pretty good on this streamer because it means less movement to grab consumables, especially, and also materials that drop. I think we will take the alien tongue. I'll then buy a leveled up screwdriver, lock a wrench, we'll lock clover as well, and we'll pass on blaze mander again. And then we'll save 100 materials here for the horde wave. When you have bag on the streamer, picking up crates, of course, is pretty helpful because it gives you income back right away. So now that I have improved tools, attack speed is incredibly valuable. And is one of the stats that we're looking for the most. Repositioning over here because it's where my Tyler is. And typically what you should do is look for your best turret. And stand by it when you're playing the streamer. Or obviously big clusters of turrets are helpful as well. We are getting kind of pressured here. I'm going to keep moving a little bit. Kill that tree as well for the heal. Grab that consumable for the heal. So we're not going to make a lot of money this wave, but we survived the horde wave, left 150 materials on the ground. That's okay. I'll take the banner, works with our improved tools, and we'll take 15 more attack speed, works with our improved tools. Do I want a... I guess I'll just go up to an explosive turret. I'm actually not a huge fan of the explosive turret. I think it's, like, often worse than the laser turret. But we just want to level our weapons anyways. We'll buy the clover, and now we're at 30 dodge and 30 armor, so we're in much better shape. Let's... Do I have a... No, it was a different run where I had pile of books, so Tentacle doesn't do anything for us. I'll re-roll here. We'll definitely take a medical turret. I will buy explosion size because... we have landmines and an explosive turret, so explosion size is fine. Typically, explosion size is much better than explosion damage, so while this isn't like a super high priority, it's still pretty good. And then we're going to try to build our bank back up, which is going to involve using our passive, but also picking up as many of these doubled materials as possible, since we left so many on the ground last wave. Kill that tree, get 3 doubled materials here. So what I need at this point is basically regeneration is the stat we're looking for the most. Regeneration, consumable heal. We'll do some movement because we can kill this loot alien. And dodge are all very important stats for us. More engineering, of course, will help us actually kill things, which is pretty important as well. I need to be near this medical turret right now because I'm taking too many hits. And we're going to have to do some movement to avoid tanking too much damage the rest of this wave. And run back to the center here to pick up all of these materials that are left on the ground, and then we'll... Because I want to make sure that I'm not leaving so many on the ground that we're carrying our bank over wave to wave. We'll take the metal detector, and then I will take 15 more attack speed. Nail will help a lot with our actual weapon damage, so that's great. Let's buy the medical turret, we'll upgrade our screwdriver, and buy nail, and I guess we're not saving that much. Fried rice is very good. We have an incendiary turret. And bag, will this pay for itself over, we have 25 luck, will this pay for itself over just the extra 1 income per second? If we hit a crate, it might, but I think we'll lock it, and I'm going to try to make at least some passive income this wave, because I'm going to need to spend down next wave anyways. I will say, I had sort of thought that we had, like, turned the corner and the run was going to be easy. But the last couple waves have been a little bit more challenging, so I still think we could easily lose here. Trying to get as much passive income as possible, and I'm going to do a quick loop, pick up these doubled materials, and then we can start making 12 per second, and then that quickly goes to 13 per second, and so on. I'll do one more loop to grab some experience here. And then we'll let our passive tick for the rest of the wave, because we're making as much money as we can this wave. All right, so that was a very solid wave for us. I'll take the Shady Potion here. I'll keep taking more attack speed as it shows up. I can't easily combine my wrenches. So I could sell the level 1 wrench. I could sell the screwdriver. I'm gonna, I think, just sell the level 1 wrench. I've actually liked having triple screwdriver. And I need to spend out my money this wave because we're going into an elite wave. So we want to spend down to basically 0. We'll take a lemonade. I'll take padding, incredible for the streamer because you get so much money on this character. Then you get a lot of max HP. We'll lock metal detector, and then I'll do another reroll. All right, fairy is incredible. Alien magic is incredible. This gives us regeneration, which is the stat we need the most. So we're feeling pretty good about this. I could actually take a pruner if I want another garden, because it's very good healing. It costs me a 1 engineering because we lose the tool setup, but pruner is a lot of healing for us. But I think we'll just go straight to wave 15. I'm gonna try attacking the elite here because my weapon damage is increased by nail. The streamer gets bonuses to your weapon damage while moving as well. So I think we can probably just kill the elite, and while we obviously are giving up some passive income while we're fighting it here, the elite would force me to move anyways. That's what they do. All right, took 3 hits in a row there, so I need to back off a bit and go towards these medical turrets, heal back up. Just bad movement there, and then I should be able to finish the elite off now that I've kind of lured it back over to the medical turrets, and then we can hold still and make some income for the rest of the wave. Part of what happened there is I actually picked up like too much money during that during this wave, where we started getting really slowed down and doing less damage. And then with 5 seconds left, let's go grab some more materials here. Make some experience gain again. A regeneration potion, incredible, of course. We want as much regen as we can get. I'll take the fairy and the metal detector, and I'll lock this wrench. I guess there's nothing I can combine or upgrade with it, so we won't bother with the wrench. And we'll just go in with 178 so we can start making some money this wave, because I'm going to have to spend down for the elite wave again anyways. Wave 16, normally pretty tough on Crash Zone, but not actually a big difficulty spike on Nightmare Mode, because I don't believe there's any new enemies this wave. So this is typically a fairly calm. An island of calm on Nightmare Mode. Really wish we had the loot worm from the previous run. Alright, started to take some damage there, so I'm going to do some running around. Break this tree. Pick up a bunch of materials, head towards, I guess, the Tyler and the laser turret here are probably the best way for us to survive. Just kind of camp underneath these guys. Tanking a little too much damage, but we're still making a lot of passive income, so we're in good shape there. I'm going to re-roll this, because... No, actually, I'm just going to take the movement speed. Movement speed is really important. Given that I have a fried rice, do I want another incendiary turret? I don't really want to lose my only incendiary turret, because the fried rice is a lot of my regen. But I think just upgrading to level 3 is still good. We'll find an incendiary turret item at some point, hopefully. I'll buy alien tongue. Oh, the elite's wave 18. For some reason, I was thinking it was wave 17, so I don't need to worry about... Or I can keep a bunch of materials here. I'll spend down to 300, I think. Warhammer, it just doesn't do that much when you only have one of them, so I'm not a big fan of this item. I will take the defective steroids because it's a regen, and we'll take poisonous tonic here. but I don't want to spend all this money right away. But obviously attack speed is great when we have improved tools. Let's just greed out a little this wave. We can go in with 11 income per second. So this wave I'm having to do a lot of moving, actually. So maybe trying to greed my passive income wasn't that good, because just the rib cages are doing so much damage that they're forcing me to move a lot, and because I have negative knockback, we're not pushing them away as easily. I like this island of landmines that was over there on the right. But we now have enough armor that we can mostly just tank through enemy damage, so I feel like we have kind of turned the corner on this run, at least a little bit. And we're over 867 materials, so we're making 25 income per second whenever we can hold still. We'll definitely take the bandana. Piercing shots are great. I'll take the fertilizer here, even though the harvesting isn't that useful. The one regen is. And, yep, we'll keep buying armor. Armor stacks linearly. The more, so each point of armor is exactly as good as the previous point, unlike dodge, where each point of dodge is better than the previous point. So you're happy to just keep buying armor, though I do want to increase my dodge as well. With only, with 27, we're kind of at exactly the point where more dodge would be really good. I think I'll buy the goat skull here. 3 melee damage isn't totally irrelevant, and the 1 regen is good. Mostly it's for the regen, of course. I do not want Weird Ghost going into an elite wave. I'll take the book. I'll take the boxing glove. Injection, I don't really want to lose 2 max HP for a regen, so I think we will pass on that. And Hedgehog, obviously, we're passing on because it's just regen neutral. We'll take the medical turret here. Goblet is an interesting way to heal for this character as well. But it's really expensive, so I think I'm just going to pass. Medkit, thrilled to have the medkit, of course. And I'm going to roll again, because I want to spend down to just about 0 going into this next wave. We'll take the turret. Losing speed and armor is pretty bad, but 10 dodge is very good when we have 27 dodge. So I think we will take the ghost outfit here. And then, all right, where's the elite? So we're fighting the elite in the dark here, but I'd rather fight it in the dark than in a storm of projectiles. So pretty happy that this is a dark wave. I'm not really paying attention to when the dark waves are, because I don't think it really changes your decision-making that much. And again, I'm just doing some movement so that we can keep our damage high against the elite, because I would like to try to kill it. Maybe the last dark wave, it's a little harder to stay still for. So we could have, like, not saved materials going into the last dark wave, for example. I'll kill that loot alien as well. But we weren't going to save materials this wave anyways, because it's an elite wave. Alright, not bad. We'll take the lumberjack shirt. It's worth a regen. I'm just going to take 200... No, I guess we have improved tools, so 20% attack speed is still very good on the ashes, even if it's going to cost me an armor, and 200 materials, which is obviously a lot. And here, I'll just take the ghost outfit, and then we'll go in with 200 held materials, try to make at least a little money, wave 19, and then we can buy the med kit going into wave 20. We probably won't kill the bosses. We don't have that much damage, but we're doing fairly well in terms of defensive stats, so we should be able to survive, I think. Obviously, I would love to find more dodge. That's the stat that I want the most at this point. Dodge and, of course, more healing. Tanking a lot there. Jerky would be an amazing find as well. All right, I'm starting to get some pressure on my health total here at the end of this wave. So we weren't able to make as much passive income this wave as I wanted. I'll take the Blood Leech here. We'll take Coffee, of course. I don't really need more max HP. I need dodge or regen, or more armor is also good. Do I just want 2 armor, or I could roll for dodge? I think I'm going to roll looking for dodge here just a few more times. All right, for 50, kind of brutal, but I'll take 2 lifesteal, I guess. Okay, Pocket Factory is a nice find. It's only 2 armor, no matter how many of the turrets spawn, because the streamer's passive counts the number of structure items in your inventory, not the number of entities on the field. So you don't gain armor when Pocket Factory turrets or landmines spawn, but it's a little more damage and a little more armor, so we're happy to have it. And then I'm going to reroll here. Lure is 2 regen and 2 loot aliens, which are also worth healing, so we'll take that as well. Over, I guess, the 4 regen of the mushroom. Maybe the 4 regen was better, but having 2 loot aliens on the field is a lot of burst healing, which can be pretty helpful. And then we'll go to wave 20. I'll test my damage against the elite. We might be able to kill them here. Or bosses. Alright, we're actually damaging them faster than I thought we would, which is great. I never did find another incendiary turret, and maybe I should have tried downgrading to a level 2 wrench at some point. Because an incendiary turret would be extremely helpful. It's both the highest DPS turret against single targets, and it also, of course, gives us regeneration because we have fried rice, which is currently doing nothing. But our defensive stats are strong enough, and our overall damage output is high enough that I think we'll be okay here, though I am starting to, again, feel a little bit of health pressure. We're going to back off, pick up some of these consumables. So I'll kill that one, and then I'll keep DPSing the other one just in case I can kill both. But now that we've gotten one killed, that's kind of the hard part out of the way. Because now we only have to dodge one enemy's worth of... One boss's worth of attacks. And nice, we got it right before the end. All right, so it took a couple tries because I messed up early on, but the streamer, definitely doable on Nightmare mode. I will say I probably should have won the second run if I just hadn't miscalculated my health there. Obviously, the increased enemy damage still throwing me off a little bit. Then we'd have been in great shape, but even so, I think that that was a pretty smooth run once I figured out the process. I would definitely, I think it might still just be easier to do a gun build, because gun builds, I think, are generally way easier on Nightmare mode than melee builds or engineering builds, but I'm glad to see that an engineering build, at least on the streamer who gets a ton of free armor for it as well, is viable on Nightmare, because I was a little worried that elemental or engineering builds simply wouldn't work on this difficulty level, so nice to see that it can. Looking at our items here, 42k damage from our turrets, 120k damage from our landmines, that's great. 60k from the 2 Tylers, actually not that amazing. Bags kind of underperformed as well. We, I guess, just didn't have that much luck in this run. Recycling machine was awful, so should not have bought that. Wow, what a bad recycling machine. Bottom mine was great. Obviously, Clockwork Wasp, amazing. 370 healing from medical turrets is excellent. Improved tools, phenomenal. We made 94 materials off the metal detector, but this, of course, is just for the engineering and luck more than it is for the extra money, so that's just kind of a bonus. And fried rice was good when we had it active, but later on became not active. Plus 10 regen from fairy, totally fine. We had, what else? The ghost outfit. I'm happy I bought that. Going up to 37 dodge was worth losing 3 armor for, given that these stats multiply each other's effectiveness, and we have a ton of armor already. So yeah, overall, I think a pretty clean run. Maybe a couple things I would have changed, like not buying recycling machine, which I think maybe on nightmare mode you just should never buy this item. Something to think about at least, because it's already kind of marginal. But overall, there you go. That is the streamer on nightmare mode. As always, let me know what other characters you think are going to be really, really hard on nightmare mode, and I will see if we can get it done. If you've enjoyed the video, then feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.